Good day, you are very welcome back to the channel. I'm going for a walk down the road here, and rather than share some lesser spotted places in Northern Ireland, what I want to do today is something different. I want to talk about finances. I know a little bit more than most about that, and because of that I want to share some wisdom that I've been privileged to know, and some insight that's really helped me. That these are some steps I follow with regards to finances. These are very applicable to the UK. You can implement them in your own country, but I'm going to talk about them from mainly a UK perspective as we go through this. So predominantly I like the teachings of Dave Ramsey, who is a large American personality in the world of business finance and personal finance. I've converted them into UK finance steps, and I'm going to go through the 7 baby steps of financial success now with you. So number 1 baby step is save £1,000 as a beginner starter emergency fund. Have that in your current account. Number 2, then we want you to attack non-mortgage debt. So that would be credit cards, overdrafts, student loans, personal loans, car loans, all the rest of it. The Bible says that the borrower is the slave to the lender. What you want to do is you want to get rid of your non-mortgage debt as a priority. It tends to be the financial institutions that loan you the money for non-mortgage debt charge a much higher interest rate than what you could ever get in the bank or in investments. So it makes a lot of sense to clear that as a priority rather than carry student loans and credit cards and personal debt into the decades after you've graduated and started your working life. Once you've done that, you can go on to baby step number 3, which is save a fully funded emergency fund. Generally, most financial advisors would advise you to save anywhere between 3 and 6 months of expenses. Typically in the UK, I would suggest that's somewhere between £5,000 and £10,000. And what you can do is you don't have to have that in your current account. You could have that in your easy access account. At the moment, generally a lot of financial institutions that are favourable can give you 4.5%. So imagine getting 4.5% as an interest on £10,000. It's £450 a year. That would really help you. You don't want the £5,000 to £10,000 in your current account. You want that somewhere that you can access it easily if you have to. But also, you can put it away in some kind of a easy access account to get a better return. Don't have it in your main high street bank. They're going to give you about 1% and laugh at you and loan the money out to the marketplace at 8%. So you don't want to do that. Baby step number 4, once you've achieved that, is you want to invest about 15% of your gross household income. You can do that in pre and post-tax assets. So your pre-tax asset could be your employer-sponsored pension. In the UK, as a minimum, employers have to put in 3%. And employees have to put in 5%. So that would be 8% of your gross income is already going into a pension fund, generally a defined contribution scheme that you can't access until you go to retire. So that is putting money on the table if you're not already enrolled. I would encourage you to do that. Or you could put some money into a stocks and shares ISA or a lifetime ISA if you're under 40. And those would be post-tax assets, and you can access that at a later stage in life whenever you've passed the threshold, and you can withdraw that tax-free. What else? Baby step number 5 is you want to, if you're blessed with kids, you want to invest for their future financial studying, and perhaps if they go to university or education, you could put that in a junior ISA. And what that will enable them to do is be able to take that money out at 18 so that they don't get into student loan debt, which is quite a frightening ordeal, particularly in America, less so in the UK, but still it's catching up. You can look at it in a sense of an extra tax on people's financial future who are currently in school. An example on that is it's a tragedy that at 18 you couldn't go out and get a £5,000 loan to buy a van and tools, but you can choose to go to university to do a Mickey Mouse degree and accrue up £50,000 of debt that is unbankruptable. So you want to help your kids, if you have them, by saving some for the future so they don't have to get into student debt. And number 6, you want to pay down your mortgage early and be mortgage free if you're blessed to own a house. And number 7, once you've achieved all those, then what you can do is you can invest heavily and give generously. Because remember, you're not going to take it with you, and money's just a tool to enable you to enjoy your life. It's not something you want to be hugely focusing on, but it is something you want to control. Either you control your money, you choose to control your money, or your money controls you and your future decisions with regards to what you do in your life. Finances are a huge cause of financial anxiety and pressure, and I think those who know a little bit more about investing and personal finance should share that with those. It's not taught in our education systems, it's not taught in our schools. Our entire economy and society is funded by credit, and it's hugely damaging to marriages and society as a whole. And as a Christian, I want to share certain teachings that will really help the people of our nation, especially in the UK and here in Northern Ireland, to escape from the burdens of debt, and they can live a prosperous life unchased by banks and the government for things, for debt that they've got themselves into that really shouldn't have happened. Let me go through those again. £1,000 starter emergency fund. Is £1,000 enough for your emergency fund? No, it's never going to be enough. But what happens if you keep going into baby step number 2, paying off non-mortgage debt? What's going to happen? Murphy's Law. The tyre's going to need replaced in the car. The washing machine's going to be replaced. The cooker's going to need replaced. Have that £1,000 emergency fund starter kit. Will really help you to spend some time on number 2, baby step number 2, which is clearing all that non-mortgage debt down. As I said, the S&P 500, the US stock market, has returned 8% every year since 1929, and a lot of personal loans, student debt, non-mortgage debt, car loans, sofa loans, hire purchase, the APR rate, the interest rate, is much higher than 8%, and therefore you want to focus on removing the financial institution hold over your life and clearing that debt as early as you can. Most people do it by being gazelle intense, really intense, and can clear it in 18 months. And then they can go on to number 3, which I know 10 grand sounds like a lot of money, but in the event of serious injury or medical intervention, maybe you have to take time off work, and that can be really damaging because so many people live paycheck to paycheck. So by saving those 3 to 6 months of expenses, it's such a blessing. King Solomon wrote 3,000 years ago that the wise set some money aside in the good times to help fund their life in the bad times. The same as Joseph, when he was taken to Egypt, he became number 2. Pharaoh put him as number 2. In the 7 years of plenty, he set some aside for the 7 years of difficulty that arose just after. So what you want to do is you want to set a fully funded emergency fund aside of 3 to 6 months of your expenses. Don't put that in your current account that you can just spend it on Amazon or other things. Put that in easy access account. Not a high street institution unless they're offering a competitive rate. It should be about 4.5% at the moment. Baby step number 4, you want to again max out your pension with your employer. If you're under 40, you can open up a lifetime ISA and put a maximum of £4,000 a year. The government gives you free money. The government never gives you free money, but they can give you free money on a lifetime ISA, and you can get 25% bonus on that. Otherwise, you can invest in a stocks and shares ISA. So you're trying for 15% of your gross household income. I know these things may sound crazy, but crazy things need to be put in place because people live paycheck to paycheck and they really struggle. And by taking control of your finances and becoming financially literate, you can really free yourself and the generations that follow from this burden, this slavery of debt to financial institutions and to the government. Baby step number 5 is saving some money for your kids' college or university education fund. Baby step number 6 is the privilege of paying off your house. When you sit in your house and you own it and there's no mortgage, it just feels so much better. And it is real. The highest expense that most people have is housing expenses, is rent. When you approach the end of your life, here's a car coming, you really want to have that house paid off. And then baby step number 7 is to invest and give generously. So I'm just going to let this car pass. Look at the beautiful views. Look at the beautiful views here in County Down. I just thought I would do a little bit of a different video. I'll try and put the 7 baby steps in the description below. If you want to go down to the description, you can read that. I'll maybe put a link to Dave Ramsey's stuff, his content online. I think it's absolutely fantastic. If you've enjoyed the channel, please do comment below. I can certainly do more videos on finances. My channel isn't really a specific one. It's not a political channel or a religious channel. It's just a channel just to share some thoughts, or share some life. Sure, ponderings is in the title, so I'm going to ponder on different things. If you don't like the video, I can certainly return to other things in Northern Ireland, lesser spotted things, some tourist things, international walkabouts and church and Irish history. But I thought I would do something a wee bit different today, share some of my experience on personal finance, and hopefully that will help many in the channel. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like it. If you've enjoyed the video, please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. Wherever you are today, over and out from the beautiful walk here in County Down.